What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of this Crystal Palace FIFA 16 career mode. In the last episode then, you saw us progress into the next round of the Capital One Cup after a decent win against a good Norwich side, and then we drew with West Brom at the Hawthorns, a really frustrating game that saw Cabaye round the keeper and decide to dive and hit the deck, even though there was absolutely no contact when he could have just rolled the ball into an empty net. So that was frustrating, but we're back in league action now. We welcome Southampton to Selhurst Park. It's a decent Southampton side as well. You can see Soumani up front, you've got Tadic, Classy, Romeu, Gaston Ramirez and Wanyama in there as well. So they've got strength, creativity, a very, very decent Southampton side, and they're going to be a pain to play against, I get the feeling. Gaston Ramirez here nearly gave them the lead when we struggled to defend a set piece, but at the other end, Yannick Bolasie, whose contract I believe is up in the summer, so we're going to have a job to do if we're going to decide to keep him. He's on a lot of money, but he has been one of our key players, so I can suspect, or I can guess, that we will be looking to offer him what he wants and try and keep him at the club. But you can see here Southampton intent on fouling us every time we got forward. Every time there was a chance, they decided to commit a foul. You saw Cabaye come close with a free kick earlier on, and Video comes even closer here. It's a fantastic save from Fraser Forster. Looked as though he was beaten, but somehow he managed to claw it out. And then up the other end then, Southampton, they caught us on the counter-attack. You can see Soumani there with a decent effort, but manages to head the ball wide of the mark. Fortunately for us, he couldn't get it on target. And then a header at the other end, Berahino on the end of it. Hidi have got a better contact on that. You'd think we'd go 1-0 up now, but he didn't get a decent contact. It kind of looped into the arms of Forster. But another free kick, this time 33 yards out. Cabaye hits the post, and then the follow-up hits the crossbar. How close and how unlucky can we get, and what have we got to do to get the ball into the back of the net? You can see the follow-up from Video was goal-bound until it was blocked and deflected onto and over the bar by Victor Wanyama. So 0-0 at half-time. I feel as though we've done more than enough to be in front, so it's quite unfortunate, but we're going to try and continue to dominate here in the second half. You can see we get off to a really good start. We play the ball out to Video, who decides to just drive individually at the Southampton defence, cutting in from that right-hand side, cutting all the way across the pitch onto his weaker left foot, and then manages to finish it as well. How about that for an individual goal? You will not see a better one. Straight from kickoff in the second half. Video must have run like 50-60 yards with that ball at his feet. You will not see a better goal than that on an individual basis, I'm telling you. Really, really pleased for the new man. I think it's his first Premier League goal since joining from Betis, so we know exactly what he's capable of. That's why we signed him. He's done that sort of thing on a regular basis for me on FIFA 15, so hoping that will be the start to sort of that will kickstart his FIFA 16 career with us, and he can go on to do more of the same. We get another free kick then, and you kind of felt this was coming. We'd had enough practice efforts. Cabaye this time makes no mistake, whipping the ball into the top corner. We'd had 4 or 5 free kicks earlier on in the first half that you saw where we came close. It was just a matter of getting it right, and that was perfection from captain Cabaye, and we really gained control of the game with that 2-goal lead. Southampton decided to sort of sit back despite being behind, but a fantastic run from Berahino, plays the ball into Cabaye, opens up his body and slots the ball past the keeper to make it 3-0 shortly afterwards, and that is very much game over. We are back with a bang, getting all 3 points here surely from this opening game. Southampton did go forward, they did cause us some problems. Yoshida playing the ball in there. When they did eventually find a way past the defence, the offside flag was up. They really struggled, Southampton, today, partly to our good defending and then superb attacking play as well. But after the game, you can see James McArthur, who was a key player for us last season, featured very, very regularly indeed, is not getting as much play time this season as he would have liked due to the fact that we've strengthened the squad. We changed the formation a little bit as well, so frustration for him. He's just letting us know that he's not happy at the club at the moment, but you can see we're doing some training drills. We had a 2-week break between these games. Some very successful drills. You can see there Berahino getting himself an A, and some very unsuccessful drills as well. Jack Butland getting himself an F, so well done, Jack. Plenty of potential though, we're not going to worry too much about that. And then the news we've all been waiting for, Jamie Vardy, who was by far and away our most threatening attacking player last season. He's back from his injury, ready for this game against Manchester City of all teams. But before that, we're going to look at the report brought back from the Youth Scout and look at Sergio Mendes' potential of anywhere between 68 and 92. We're not going to take any risks. We're not going to let any other team snap him up. We're going to make sure we sign him on a youth term basis I said youth was going to be the key because we don't have the resources, as I said, of the teams such as City around us. They've got quite a huge budget, so we've hired some youth scouts. We're going to be taking their word for it and hopefully putting together a decent youth side and getting them game time in the Capital One Cup and other competitions. If we qualify for Europe next year, which is obviously the aim, then we could have an extremely busy schedule indeed. But as you can see, we're taking on this City side, a very, very strong City side. Lewandowski and Wilfried Bony up front. We've got our work cut out. You can see Eric Dyer coming in at right back, Zuma and Bartra and the centre-back pair that we've decided to go with. Joe Ledley is getting the start and Berahino leading the line up front with Jamie Vardy having to settle for a place on the bench following his injury. We're not going to chuck him straight in at the deep end this time round, but we get off to a decent start. Balassi cutting in on the left-hand side, as he so often does. Tries to open up his body, a bit like Cabaye did against Southampton, but Joe Hart manages to turn the ball behind. Corner kick straight off the training ground, whipped to the edge of the box where Video, you've seen Paul Scholes score a few of them in his time. Video not quite on Scholes' level, but he volleyed that one wide. And then Joe Hart nearly gifted us the lead with an extremely poor first touch. The ball kind of bobbled over his foot, but that was... that would have been a stroke of good fortune for us, and that was as good as it got in the first half, really. We're moving into the second half now. You can see Joe Hart still in fantastic form to deny us. Cabaye plays it into Berahino. Fantastic turn. Could he finish? Unfortunately not. Joe Hart is really on top form today. He's determined to keep us out, and he's doing just that. Corner kick headed back to Cabaye here. He tries an effort from a cute and strange angle. It was a really good strike, actually, on the half volley. Joe Hart turns that one over, and then Video's pressure wins us the opportunity here. He plays it into the feet of Berahino, and we thought he had to score, but somehow Joe Hart pulls off an amazing reaction save to keep the scores level. City did have chances of their own. De Bruyne linking up well with Lewandowski here. Fortunately for us, he couldn't get that effort on target. And then Joe Ledley played the ball down the left-hand side. Balassi cuts inside his man. Pass one, pass two, pass three, and this time powers the ball past Joe Hart. There was nothing graceful or finesseful about that finish. He just put his foot through it, head over the ball, struck it with his laces, and finally Joe Hart is beaten. We've got 10 minutes to go then. It's just a case of holding out, and this would be an epic victory. We've had habits of beating the big teams and slipping up against the smaller teams, but you can see almost an immediate response there from City. They hit the post. We are so fortunate to escape without conceding there, but they're not done yet. We're moving into the final minute of the game. You can see it's David Silva with the effort. Fortunately, David Butland? Jack Butland manages to pluck the ball out of the air, keeping hold of it, and that was enough to get us another epic win. So back-to-back wins again this episode. Some tricky fixtures as well that we've managed to pick up 3 points at Stamford Bridge, now at the Etihad. And we've deserved those wins as well. So I am genuinely quite excited about what we can achieve this year. Obviously the aim is just to get a European place. We're going to go all out to do that. But could we go better? Improving the squad in January. We're playing some superb stuff. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but as you can see, we're up there in second place, 4 points behind leaders Chelsea. We're starting to run away with it already. They haven't drawn any games. They're either winning or losing. We've lost the same number of games, just 2 defeats for both of us. But where we're drawing games, they're managing to pick up all 3 points. But you can see Arsenal and City make up the other Champions League places. Everton in 5th. Teams down at the bottom then, you've got Watford really struggling, Sunderland and Villa also down there making up the other relegation places. So things going well. We're going to look to keep this momentum going as we move further forward in the season. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we will see you in another video. With 9 points.